Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Waving Hand. Today we're diving into one of the most popular personal finance books of all time, Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. This book has sold over 40 million copies worldwide and has completely changed how people think about money, wealth, and financial freedom. But what makes it so powerful? Thinking face. Well, in this video, I'll break down the biggest lessons from the book, share real-life examples, and give you actionable takeaways that you can start applying right away. So grab a notebook, because this one's packed with wisdom. Part 1. The Story of Two Dads. Robert Kiyosaki grew up with two father figures. Back-end index pointing right, his biological dad, who was highly educated with a PhD, worked for the government, believed in studying hard, getting a stable job, and climbing the career ladder. Robert calls him the poor dad. Back-end index pointing right. Then there was his best friend's dad, a successful businessman and investor who never finished 8th grade, but understood how money really works. Robert calls him the rich dad. Both men were smart, hardworking, and cared for their families. But they had completely different views about money. The poor dad believed, go to school, get good grades, find a safe job, and you'll be secure. The rich dad believed, don't just work for money. Make money work for you. This clash of mindsets shaped Robert's financial philosophy and the lessons he shares with the world. Part 2. Lesson 1. The rich don't work for money. Most people think the way to get rich is to work harder, get promotions, and save money. But Rich Dad taught Robert the opposite. Working harder for money often traps you in a cycle. When you earn more, you also spend more. It's called a rat race. Paychecks come in, bills go out. Instead, the rich focus on acquiring assets, things that generate income, even when you're not working. Think about it like this. Poor dad, I can't afford it. Rich dad, how can I afford it? That small shift forces your brain to think creatively. It's not about earning more. It's about owning income-producing assets that free you from relying on a paycheck. Part 3. Lesson 2. It's not about how much you make, but how much you keep. Poor dad thought saving money in the bank was the smartest thing. But rich dad said inflation and taxes eat away at savings. The real game is not just income, but cash flow. Rich dad taught, assets put money in your pocket. Liabilities take money out of your pocket, like expensive cars, big mortgages, lifestyle debt. Most people think their house is an asset. But if you're paying the bank every month and it's not generating income, it's actually a liability. This lesson alone has flipped how millions of people view wealth. Part 4. Lesson 3. The importance of financial education. Here's the thing. We go to school to learn math, science, history, but almost no one teaches us about money. That's why people can graduate college, land high-paying jobs, and still struggle financially. Rich Dad always said, the single most powerful asset we all have is our mind. If it's trained well, it can create enormous wealth. Financial education means understanding how to read financial statements bar chart, how taxes and debt work, how to identify good investments, how to spot opportunities others miss. It's not about getting a degree. It's about learning the language of money. Part 5. Lesson 4. Mindset and risk. Poor dad avoided risk. He believed in security, steady paychecks, and pension plans. Rich dad embraced risk, but in an educated way. He said, winners are not afraid of losing, but losers are. Failure is part of the process of success. Most people fear losing money, but the rich learn, experiment, fail, and adapt. The difference? Poor dad saw risk as danger. Rich dad saw risk as an opportunity to grow. Part 6. Lesson 5. Work to learn, not to earn. Another powerful lesson. Don't just chase a high-paying job. Instead, focus on building skills. Robert worked in sales not because he loved it, but because he wanted to learn how to sell, a skill that's priceless for business. Rich Dad said, the most important thing is to know how to sell, to communicate, to negotiate, to persuade. So instead of asking, how much will this job pay me? Ask, what skills will this job teach me? Part 7. Lesson 6. The power of entrepreneurship and investing. Poor dad believed the safest route was to be an employee. Rich dad believed the path to wealth was entrepreneurship and investing. He taught Robert the cash flow quadrant, a model with 4 categories of people. E. Employees work for others. S. Self-employed work for themselves. B. Business owners, systems, and people work for them. I. Investors, money works for them. The goal is to move from the left side, E and S, to the right side, B and I, where financial freedom lives. Part 8. Lesson 7. Make money work for you. Poor Dad always chased a paycheck. Rich Dad built income streams that worked while he slept. The rich don't save for retirement. They invest for freedom. Assets like real estate, stocks and dividends, royalties, businesses. These create passive income. And passive income equals freedom. Final thoughts and takeaways. So what's the big takeaway from Rich Dad, Poor Dad? It's this. Back-end index pointing right wealth isn't about working harder. Back-end index pointing right, it's about working smarter. Back-end index pointing right, it's about financial education, assets, mindset, and making money work for you. Robert Kiyosaki's Two Dads showed us that the biggest difference between rich and poor isn't money itself. It's how you think about money. If you want financial freedom, stop trading time for money and start building assets that generate income long after you've stopped working. All right, that's a wrap on today's deep dive into Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Blue Book. If you found this helpful, make sure to hit that thumbs up like button, subscribe for more book breakdowns and self-growth content, and drop a comment below. Which Rich Dad lesson hit you the hardest? Thanks for watching, and remember, don't just work for money. Make money work for you.